Welcome back to the One Decision Hub channel. If you are new here, you have picked an incredibly fascinating time to join us.
It's a great one.
It really is. Today, we're unpacking a story that hits on something I think every single one of us has felt at some point.
Hmm.
You know that specific frustration when a system just doesn't make sense? When you look at the rules of the game and you just think, wait a minute, this is broken.
And you just want to flip the whole table.
Yes. You feel that burning desire to just rewrite the rules yourself.
It's a classic David and Goliath dynamic, isn't it? But in this case, our David isn't using a slingshot. He's using a microphone and a very clever business model to take down the giant.
Exactly. But before we get into the strategy, and we are going to get into the weeds of the business model, I want you to just picture this.
Okay.
Imagine you are talented. You have spent years honing your craft, writing, practicing in the mirror until 2 in the morning, pouring your heart into your art.
All that work.
All that work.
Mhm.
And you finally get a chance to perform. You get your friends to come. You pack the room. You bring the energy. And then at the end of the night, the venue asks you to pay them $20 for the privilege.
It sounds completely backwards when you say it out loud like that.
Right.
But for so long, and honestly, even today, that is the standard. It's the pay-to-play model.
It drives me crazy. But for our main character today, Rashawn Brown, that frustration, it wasn't just an annoyance, it was the spark.
The one
The
decision.
one decision. He rejected that standard. And it didn't just save him $20. It launched a movement that generated 6 figures in revenue and took him from a street corner all the way to,
The legendary Apollo Theater.
yes,
Yeah, wow.
the Apollo. And today, our mission is to unpack how changing that value proposition for artists can turn a passion project into a real revenue-generating machine.
But we also have to look at the other side of it, right? Because this isn't some fairy tale. We have to talk about the physical toll that this level of ambition can take on a person.
Absolutely. The cost of success isn't always in dollars. Sometimes the currency is your health.
Yeah.
So let's meet the man himself, Rashawn Brown. I love his background because it's so relatable. By day, he's a product manager at ESPN.
Right, a solid, stable corporate career.
Exactly. But by night, he's a poet.
And that duality is so interesting right off the bat. Because think about what a product manager does. They look for inefficiencies. They look for product market fit. They solve user problems.
Oh, that's a great point. So he has that strategic mind from his day job, but then the artistic soul for his nightlife.
He's got both halves of the brain working.
So he started performing way back in high school. For him, the stage wasn't just performance, he called it therapy. It was how he processed things.
Hmm.
But let's fast forward to January 2020. This is the inciting incident.
The world is just on the brink of changing forever, but right before that, Rashawn is at an open mic night in New York City.
So he goes to perform. He brings his friends. So he is literally bringing paying customers to this venue.
He's doing the marketing for them.
He is. The room is packed. He gets up there, does his set. The crowd is snapping, cheering. The vibes are immaculate.
It's the perfect night for an artist. Validation, connection, all of it.
Until the bill comes, or I guess the entry fee. He realizes that despite bringing the crowd and being the entertainment, the venue expects him to pay $20 just to be there.
Wow.
Now, I have to play devil's advocate for a second. $20. It isn't a fortune. If you love performing, isn't that just a cover charge? Why did this $20 trigger such a massive reaction?
That is the critical question. And it wasn't about the amount. It was about the direction of the transaction.
A direction? What do you mean?
I mean, Rashawn did the math. He realized, wait, I prepped the product. I marketed the event to my network. I filled your room. I provided the entertainment that kept people buying drinks.
Yeah.
In any other business, the venue pays the supplier.
But here, the supplier was paying the venue. He was being treated as the customer, not the talent.
Exactly. He said, it didn't sit right with me. It was a fundamental misalignment of value.
So this is the moment, the one decision. He decides to become the competition. He launches his own platform, Poetry Me Please, and here's the course shift. Instead of pay to play.
He flips the model completely.
How?
At his events, the selected artists, usually about 10 per show, they perform for free. No entry fee, no pay us for exposure.
Which is great, right? It saves him $20. But if that's all he did, isn't he just running a free open mic? How is that a business?
That's the key. Removing the fee was just step one. The genius was in what he added. He identified what artists actually wanted. In 2020, and definitely now, what is the most valuable currency for a creator?
Attention. Or maybe Content.
Content,
Huh.
high-quality digital assets. Roshan realized that if he gave him professional video and high-res photos of their sets, that was worth infinitely more than saving $20.
Oh, that makes so much sense. He wasn't selling stage time. He was selling career acceleration.
Exactly. If you're a poet on Instagram, a grainy iPhone video from a dark bar does nothing. But a professional multicam edit? That's your marketing reel. That gets you your next gig.
He solved a pain point for the talent, which means he instantly attracted better talent.
And better talent attracts a bigger audience. It's a flywheel.
But let's be real, it didn't start with professional cameras and sold-out theaters.
Oh, not at all. It started humbly. He was posting videos on YouTube, hosting events in small bars.
And financially.
Pennies, if that. I mean, it was a total labor of love. He was probably losing money just to prove the concept worked.
I love that phase of a business. The grind in the dark phase. But you can't grind forever. So for Rashawn, the breakthrough seems to be October 2021. What changed?
He realized that the environment creates the value. He moves the event from a standard bar to a two-story restaurant.
And he changes the vibe completely. He tells people to dress up, fancy, you can order food, get cocktails. It wasn't a gig anymore.
It became an experience, an occasion, and people will pay for an occasion.
Did the numbers back him up?
Immediately. That first night at the new venue, he netted $1,000 in profit.
From pennies to $1,000 in one night. That's validation.
And it wasn't a fluke. The very next event netted over $4,000. He had found his product market fit.
So now the ball is rolling. He's making money, the buzz is building, and this is where his ambition really kicks in. He doesn't want to just be the best poetry night in a restaurant. He looks up the cost to rent the Apollo Theater.
The Apollo, I mean, that is hallowed ground.
And the price tag reflects that. $50,000 for one night.
That is a staggering amount of money for a side hustle.
Mm.
Remember, he still has his day job at ESPN. This isn't some venture-backed CEO.
It's terrifying. But in the fall of 2023, he bets on himself. He puts down a $10,000 deposit.
Wow.
And this isn't some grant money. This is a mix of his personal savings and the business money he'd scraped together.
That is the burn the boats moment. Once that deposit is down, there's no turning back.
How did he even pull that off? Because that is a massive cliff to jump off.
He leveraged the community he built. By this point, Poetry Me Please had a huge following on Instagram. He had partnerships with places like Soho House, City Winery, even sponsorships from Eventbrite and Microsoft.
Right.
He used all of that credibility to push this Apollo show.
And the risk paid off. 1,400 people bought tickets. They covered the costs. He took a poetry open mic and filled the Apollo.
It's just an incredible achievement. From a $20 frustration to one of the most famous stages in the world.
However,
Yeah.
and we have to be real here, we look at the Instagram photos of the sold-out Apollo, we see the Microsoft logo, and we think, this guy must be rich.
Right, he's buying a private island.
Exactly. So we need to look at the books for 2024.
Let's do the financial reality check. So, top line first. In 2024, Poetry Me Please generated about $148,000 in revenue.
Okay, that's a respectable number, about $12,000 a month. For a side hustle, that's top tier.
It is. But revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. What did he actually keep? The profit for the year was roughly $500.
Wait, hold on, $500 total for the whole year.
Total. $500 profit.
Okay, unpack that. Because if I'm listening, I'm thinking, he worked 80-hour weeks for $500. That sounds like a failed business.
If you look at it as a salary, yes, it's terrible. But if you look at it as a growth company, it's textbook. Rashawn isn't trying to skim cash off the top yet.
So where is the other $147,500 going?
It's going back into the machine. Remember those high-quality videos for the artists?
Yeah.
That requires professional videographers, editors. He pays DJs. He pays door staff. He has a chief of staff, an agent, a social media manager. He's running a media company and a live events company at the same time.
So he's trading short-term income for long-term value. He's employing people.
Exactly. He creates jobs. He calls it creative autonomy. He is the CEO. And that control costs money. He's prioritizing the brand over his own pocket because he still has that ESPN paycheck to live on.
That is a very mature, long-term play. The corporate job is basically the angel investor for the passion project.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another cost here we haven't talked about. You can't pay for everything with money. Sometimes you pay with your body.
And this is the dark side of the hustle culture narrative that we often gloss over. We celebrate the Apollo, But we ignore the emergency room.
Yeah, we have to talk about February 2024. This story actually scared me a little when I first read it.
It should.
So, Rashawn had just had knee surgery. He's in active recovery. He's in pain. But he gets an invite to perform at the White House.
Which is, I mean, that's a hard opportunity to say no to. It's the White House.
Exactly. That's the trap. He felt he couldn't say no. So he goes, he pushes his body, he performs, he does the networking. But that same evening, instead of celebrating, he ended up in a DC emergency room.
Total system collapse. Just exhaustion and pain.
He said later, "I've learned either you can take a rest or your body is going to make you take a rest."
It's a harsh lesson. I mean, he estimates he works anywhere from 20 to 80 hours a week on this, on top of his 40-hour corporate job.
That's 60 to 120 hours of work a week. That is not sustainable.
No. And I think he acknowledges that now. He's driven by something bigger. But even a mission-driven engine can overheat.
Well, speaking of that mission, we have to talk about the full circle moment. This is almost too cinematic to be real.
The manifestation.
Yes. So rewind to December 2022. Rashawn gets a huge opportunity to open for the poet Rupi Kaur.
Who is, for those who don't know, arguably the most famous poet in the world right now. A total superstar.
He opens for her at King's Theater in Brooklyn. Massive venue. After the show, he's high on adrenaline. He steps outside onto the empty street, and he literally yells into the void. He records a video saying, "One day, we're going to sell out this theater."
You put it out into the universe.
Fast forward to November 29th, 2025. Just a couple of months ago, Rashawn returns to King's Theater, but this time, he is not the opener.
He's the host. It's his show. Poetry me, please.
And here's the kicker. This special guest performing that night,
Rupi Kaur.
Rupi Kaur.
Goosebumps. Every time.
He went from opening for her to hiring her for his own show at the same venue. That is the power of the platform he built.
He didn't just build a career for himself. He built a stage so big that even the biggest stars want to stand on it.
So when we strip it all down, what are the takeaways here? If I'm listening, what do I learn from Rashawn Brown?
I think there are three core pillars. First, identify the structural injustice. He didn't just try to be a better poet. He saw the economic model artists paying venues was broken. He solved a problem for the artists.
Right. Solve the pain point for the people providing the value, and you win their loyalty.
Exactly. Second is reinvest for ecosystem, not salary. This is the hardest one. He had 148 grand pass through his hands, and he kept 500 bucks. He was buying a team, a brand, sustainability.
He played the long game.
And finally, creative autonomy comes at a price. He kept his day job. That was a strategic choice. The paycheck from ESPN allowed him to be a pure CEO through a side hustle. It paid the rent, so he didn't have to compromise his vision.
That's a great reframing. The day job isn't a trap. It's the funding for your freedom.
Exactly. It's the angel investor you don't have to give equity to.
Rashawn's story is a reminder that the barriers we see, like that $20 entry fee, are often just opportunities in disguise.
He built a door where there was only a wall.
Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We hope Rashawn's story sparked something in you. Maybe there's a rule in your industry that just doesn't sit right.
Just, remember to take a rest day before your body forces you to.
Wise words. If you found value in this breakdown, please hit the like button and subscribe to the One Decision Hub channel. We're building a library of these pivotal moments, and we want you with us for the next one.
We have some incredible case studies coming up.
We really do. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.